really funny. He remembered it.
Well,
Right
tell
away.
me about it.
I can't tell you about that.
We
Oh, I
should
can
talk.
just go anytime, right?
Yeah.
Of Del Campo here. I was thinking about something that happened the first time I converted a car to LEDs. I was in my Ford van, 2004 Ford van. Has bulbs similar to that. They're not 1157s. There's the one that plug in, but very similar to this. Dual filament incandescent bulbs. And it was Christmas Day. I'm driving from Arizona to Tennessee. I'm partway across Texas, and my turn signal stops working. So I got a burnout bulb. So then I start looking for a place to buy the bulb I need. And everywhere I go, they've got LEDs that plug in, but they don't have the original incandescent. So I thought, I'll just convert it to LEDs. So I bought all these bulbs, went around, plugged them in. Nothing works. Man, nothing works at all. So then I drive around. I can't find, it's Christmas Day. I cannot find the right bulbs. And I can't drive all the way to Tennessee like that. I'm in West Texas. It's a pretty short trip back to Arizona. So and it's starting to snow. I'm just upset with the whole thing. So I turn around, I go back to Arizona. Nice warm place to go. Figure I'll fix my turn signals when I get home. So I get there, and I'm talking to a guy, and a guy tells me, oh, you got to solder a little resistor at each socket so it increases the resistance, and then your turn signals will work. So I just didn't do it. Well, then, after doing some reading, I find out that the problem really is, I guess you could put a resistor in each position to make these flashers work, but instead of doing that, you get one of these. It's a flasher that's meant for LEDs, and it's got this wire on here that grounds, so it does something in there to make the flasher work with an LED bulb. So when you use these flashers, some of them have a separate wire, some of them have a third prong, because some of the things that plug in have a third prong. The one we used on a Chrysler product had a third prong. This one's going in a Ford. It uses a grounding little tail there. So then the LEDs will work in the turn signals, and they work quite well when you do that. You don't have to go around soldering resistors in everywhere. So if anybody ever tells you that, just forget it. Do this. This works. This does work quite well. Still talking about LEDs. I want to talk about the Valiant. I've got a 72 Valiant. Converted everything to LED except the headlights. I mean, LED headlights, if they're designed right, they won't blind drivers coming the other way. But a lot of the aftermarket ones just blast light out. They're terrible and they blind people. So if you're going to convert headlights to LEDs, make sure they have a strong cutoff so the light hits out in front of the car about 100 to 125 feet. But those things are on the pricey side. But the rest of the bulbs in the car, like turn signals, side marker lights, brake lights, all those, you can put LEDs in them, and they're a little brighter, they're a little more crisp, and they really make the car show up like a late model car, and they don't hurt the looks of the car at all, or at least I don't think they do. So instead of having these things, we changed over to these things, and they're bright and crisp. They come on and off quickly. We put them in the Valiant, in my 72 Valiant, and man, they work great. And then we used the flasher. Well, the Valiant has a 3-prong flasher, so it doesn't have this extra grounding tail on it. So it just went in, and then the wiring harness, you have to put a ground from the wiring harness, but it was easy, and everything works so well, and they're nice and crisp and bright. So going down the road, you can be seen, like your turn signals show up like a newer car, your brake lights show up like a newer car, and that's a nice thing.
You could show. Oh, I'm sorry.
I was talking about the LEDs and these 1157 bulbs, which are the dual filament bulbs, but a lot of the bulbs are single filament, such as the license plate lights and side marker lights. There are these little ones here that are called 194s, and they've got 2 little prongs on them like that, and they just shove into a socket. So they make LEDs that do the same thing. Now this one's in a pack, but these things, they just shove into the same deal, and they work great, except if you're doing on a dashboard. A lot of dashboards use these 194s, and the problem with on a dashboard, you want them to dim, and an incandescent bulb will dim, and a lot of these LEDs won't dim. They'll just they just stay the same brightness, and then they go out, or it doesn't work at all. There are some dimmable LEDs. I've tried to find them. They're kind of hard to find. I think they're kind of expensive. I don't know. So if you convert your dash to LEDs, you're gonna have bright lights that aren't gonna dim. So when I do my dashboard, I usually go to the original type 194s, so I have the dimmable bulbs. Did use the LEDs in the dash on the turn signals, on the high beam indicator and the turn signal indicators, because they have, like, the turn signal indicators have green filters over them. They're not too bright. And the high beam, I haven't driven it at night yet to see, but if I get a high beam light that's too bright, I'll just put a little piece of colored tape over it, like like a lot of times those are blue. I'll get some blue tape and put it over there, so I have a second blue tape or a third blue tape, just to dim it down a little bit so it isn't blinding me in my face. Some people don't like LEDs because they say it isn't original. If that's how you feel, go buy the incandescent bulbs. It's fine. Some people don't like anything except original cars. They don't even want the engine block to have a different serial number on it. And then there's people like me who, I kind of like the way the car was originally, but I'm not that strict about it. If I've got to put an engine in a car and the serial number doesn't match the VIN on the car, I really don't care. I want a car I'm going to drive. So to me, something like LEDs, I want cars to see me, I want my brake lights to show up and so forth. I don't know, that's just personal preference. I think everybody decides how far they want to modify their car, or if they don't want to modify it at all. It's personal preference. Okay, power requirements with the LEDs is less, but the car was designed with enough alternator, enough battery to run incandescent bulbs. So, I mean, it might put less of a load on it, but then cars, you put more of a load on it because you might plug in some accessories in the power point or the cigarette lighter. I don't know, you might put a GPS, or you might put who knows what. I had a friend that used to run around with a cooler. Instead of putting ice, he had one that plugged in, and the cooler was a little refrigerator. I don't know what the power requirement that is. So, you know, if you take some power requirement away because of LEDs, you add some somewhere else. Generally, the newer alternators are going to put out more power. That's just something you got to pay attention to, is what the power requirements are for your